Welcome, beloved friends, to Enny's Diamond Stories, where life lessons glisten like rare jewels and every tale carries a spark that lingers long after the story ends. Here, words breathe life, moments wrap you in wonder, and every lesson leaves footprints on the soul. If this is your very first time joining us, kindly subscribe, like, and share, so others too can draw inspiration, encouragement, and strength from these timeless treasures. Today, our journey leads us into the delicate yet fiery world of marriage, a bond as breathtaking as it is fragile, where laughter mingles with tears, harmony dances with conflict, and love sometimes feels like both a gentle embrace and a raging storm. Hidden behind the smiles of many couples are struggles untold, battles fought in silence, and questions that echo in the night. Marriage, though beautiful, is never without its mysteries, but to understand these mysteries, we must step back and explore the roots of who we are, our temperaments. These temperaments are not chosen, they are woven into our very being, shaping how we think, feel, and respond. Love, upbringing, and environment polish us, but temperament is the stage where every scene of life is played out. In our last episode, we uncovered the truth about the four classic temperaments: choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and melancholic. Each carries powerful gifts capable of building strong homes, yet each also hides shadows that can destroy if left unattended. Beloved friends, this is the beginning of an exciting 4-week storytelling series on the four temperaments and their impact on marriages and individual lives. And today, we unlock the first jewel in this treasure chest, the sanguine temperament. Bursting with energy, laughter, and charm, the sanguine lights up every room, draws hearts with ease, and paints life in vibrant colors. Yet beneath the sparkle lies a struggle with focus, discipline, and depth. This, dear friends, is where our story begins, an exploration of joy, excitement, and the hidden challenges that come with being irresistibly alive. Each week, we will focus on one temperament at a time: choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and melancholic. You will discover their unique meanings, characteristics, strengths, and weaknesses, as well as the impact they bring to relationships. This is not just theory, it's a journey filled with suspense, real-life scenarios, and life-changing lessons that will help you better understand yourself, your spouse, and the people around you. Stay tuned every week as a new episode unfolds. By the end of this series, you will not only laugh, reflect, and maybe see yourself in some of the characters, you will also gain practical wisdom to build stronger marriages and healthier lives. Don't miss a single episode. Subscribe, follow, and join us on this transformative 4-week series, Temperaments in Marriage. Let's walk into their world, one by one, and uncover their secrets. Today, let me take you into the fiery world of the choleric temperament, a world where passion and power collide, where marriages are tested in silence, and where individuals rise high but sometimes fall harder than most. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. A man walks into a room, and everyone immediately knows who is in charge. His eyes burn with focus, his steps are decisive, his words carry weight. He doesn't wait, he commands. Now picture his home. His spouse watches him with both admiration and exhaustion, torn between loving his strength and fearing his fire. This is the choleric temperament, a temperament that builds nations, starts revolutions, and inspires movements. Yet it is also a temperament that can crush families, silence love, and leave a trail of broken hearts if not guided by wisdom. So today, we go deeper into the meaning, characteristics, suspense-filled stories, and life-changing lessons of the sanguine temperament. Before we continue this story, let me introduce you to something very dear to my heart. Enny's Diamond Stories have written 2 inspiring books that will bless your life and strengthen your walk with God. Strength for the Journey of Life for Every Child of God, written to encourage you with faith, hope, and courage for every step of life's journey. God Has Not Forgotten You. For Singles and Married, a book that speaks to the heart, reminding you that God's timing is perfect and His love never fails, whether in singleness or marriage. Both books are available on Amazon, and you will find the links to get your copies right under the description of my videos on this channel. These books are not just words on pages, they are treasures of encouragement for your spirit. Fun Milala Olunifesi. Let's look at the meaning of the choleric temperament. The choleric is the temperament of fire. Their lives are powered by decision, determination, and dominance. Unlike other temperaments, they rarely sit back and wait, they take charge. As children, they often defy instructions, not out of rebellion but out of conviction. As adults, they become the leaders, managers, visionaries, and warriors. But here's the tension. Fire is both a blessing and a danger. It can light a home, or it can burn it down. Characteristics of the choleric temperament. The strengths of the choleric are: the choleric is bold and courageous, never afraid to take risks or face challenges head-on. They are visionary leaders who refuse to settle for less, always pushing toward bigger dreams. Hard-working, disciplined, and persistent, they keep moving forward when others would give up. They are natural problem solvers who push boundaries and inspire others to do the same. The weaknesses of the choleric are: yet, the choleric temperament carries its shadows. They can be impatient and quick-tempered, often expecting others to keep up with their pace. Their strong drive makes them domineering, and they may easily slip into control. Many struggle with empathy and tenderness, placing tasks and goals above people's feelings. In their pursuit of success, they sometimes forget that hearts matter more than achievements. The choleric doesn't just live life, they conquer it. But in conquering life, they risk losing the very people they fight so hard to provide for and protect. Let's look at the meaning of the choleric temperament. The choleric is the temperament of fire. Their lives are powered by decision, determination, and dominance. Unlike other temperaments, they rarely sit back and wait, they take charge. As children, they often defy instructions, not out of rebellion but out of conviction. As adults, they become the leaders, managers, visionaries, and warriors. But here's the tension. Fire is both a blessing and a danger. It can light a home, or it can burn it down. Characteristics of the choleric temperament. The strengths of the choleric are: the choleric is bold and courageous, never afraid to take risks or face challenges head-on. They are visionary leaders who refuse to settle for less, always pushing toward bigger dreams. Hard-working, disciplined, and persistent, they keep moving forward when others would give up. They are natural problem solvers who push boundaries and inspire others to do the same. The weaknesses of the choleric are: yet, the choleric temperament carries its shadows. They can be impatient and quick-tempered, often expecting others to keep up with their pace. Their strong drive makes them domineering, and they may easily slip into control. Many struggle with empathy and tenderness, placing tasks and goals above people's feelings. In their pursuit of success, they sometimes forget that hearts matter more than achievements. The choleric doesn't just live life, they conquer it. But in conquering life, they risk losing the very people they fight so hard to provide for and protect. In the city of love, Paris, a young couple began their journey as husband and wife. Nehemiah and Precious stepped into marriage with hearts full of dreams and expectations. The world seemed perfect, the lights of the Eiffel Tower sparkled just for them, and their love felt unshakable. But beneath the glow of romance lay something more complex. He was a man of structure, precision, and control. She was a woman who longed for freedom, laughter, and spontaneity. What began as small differences soon grew into a quiet battle between two worlds. One lived by order, the other by desire for adventure. Their love was real, their bond undeniable, but the fire of Nehemiah's discipline soon threatened to scorch the very home they were building together. Precious admired his strength, yet she longed for tenderness, and slowly, silently, cracks began to appear in the walls of their marriage. This is not just their story. It is the story of many couples who discover that love is not tested in the dazzling days of romance, but in the long nights of silence, misunderstanding, and struggle. And yet, within that struggle lies the possibility of transformation, a fire that, if tempered, can burn not to destroy but to warm. Let's take a look at Precious and Nehemiah's marriage. Paris shimmered like a dream that night. The streets glowed beneath the golden hue of the Eiffel Tower, the air alive with music drifting from cafes, and lovers strolling hand in hand, their laughter echoing off cobblestone alleys. High above this tapestry of romance, inside a luxurious honeymoon suite, Nehemiah and Precious sat together, two hearts newly joined yet already tugging in different directions. On the glass table between them lay a thickly detailed schedule. It was Nehemiah's masterpiece, a plan carved with precision. Each page was filled with carefully measured hours: the Louvre at 10 sharp, lunch at noon, sightseeing at 2, rest at 4, dinner strictly at 7. To Nehemiah, this wasn't merely paper, it was order, balance, and a guarantee that their honeymoon would be perfect, every moment accounted for. Precious sat beside him, but her spirit wandered beyond the suite. Her eyes were fixed on the sparkling city below, her heart swelling with the longing for spontaneity. She dreamed of losing herself in the rhythm of the streets, of tasting Paris without maps or timetables, of dancing barefoot on cobblestones lit only by moonlight. Her lips curved into a gentle smile, though her voice remained silent. If only we could leave the schedule tonight, her heart whispered, and let Paris carry us where it wills. But Nehemiah's eyes never left the itinerary, his brow furrowed with quiet determination. To him, Precious' longing for unplanned adventures sounded like a leap into chaos. He couldn't understand why she wanted to abandon what he had carefully arranged, why she desired uncertainty when he had provided perfection. The air between them shifted. What began as warmth dissolved into silence, a chill that no Paris glow could melt. Outside, the Eiffel Tower sparkled like a beacon of love, yet inside, their honeymoon night trembled under the weight of two opposing worlds, her thirst for freedom against his hunger for control. Time moved forward, but the pattern remained. Precious cherished Nehemiah's discipline, his ability to lead, his tireless drive for excellence. She admired the strength that made him stand tall. Yet, behind her admiration lay a shadow. Too often, she felt like a soldier under strict command rather than a cherished partner. A dinner delayed by minutes could tighten Nehemiah's jaw into stone. A suggestion spoken too softly could fall into a silence heavier than any argument. The tension built slowly, like fire simmering beneath wood, waiting for a spark. One evening, after sharp words about finances cut through the air like daggers, Precious' heart could carry no more. She walked quietly to the wardrobe, pulled out a small bag, and sat on the edge of their bed. Tears brimmed and spilled down her cheeks, silent witnesses to years of suppressed sighs. For the first time, she questioned whether love, pure and passionate as it was in the beginning, could survive under the weight of control. What use was fire if it burned down the home it was meant to warm? Nehemiah sat across the room, his chest tight with unspoken words. The silence was no longer discipline, it was devastation. In the stillness of that night, the truth struck him with piercing clarity. His greatest gift, his fire of leadership, his strength of order, had twisted into a weapon. The very flame meant to guide and protect had turned into heat that scorched the one he loved most. Strength without tenderness was no strength at all. And in that moment, Nehemiah realized his fire had to change, or it would consume everything they had built together. But change did not come overnight. It was not a switch to be flipped or a sudden miracle of personality. It came slowly, painfully, and with resistance. Nehemiah wrestled with his own nature. Weeks turned into months as he learned to loosen his grip on control. At first, every unplanned moment felt like failure, every surprise like disorder. Yet, Precious' quiet patience became his anchor. He began with small steps, allowing dinner to start late without a frown, listening to her thoughts without immediately silencing them with logic, choosing, once in a while, to walk with her into an unplanned evening, like wandering through a local market or sitting in a cafe without looking at the time. It took years, not days. There were relapses, moments when his old fire flared and burned. But each time, Nehemiah noticed the hurt in Precious' eyes, and each time, he chose to try again. Slowly, his fire softened into warmth rather than destruction. His leadership was no longer about control but about care. His strength no longer crushed, it covered, supported, and lifted. And Precious? She blossomed. The woman who once felt trapped beneath rules began to feel cherished, valued, and free. Their laughter returned, sometimes even louder than before. The fire that once threatened to consume their love had, through time and humility, been reshaped into a flame that warmed their home. Nehemiah learned that true strength was not in control but in gentleness, not in rules but in love, not in precision but in patience. And in the end, both of them realized that marriage was not about one fire consuming the other, but about learning to burn together, in balance, forever. Let's look at another real-life story. In Abuja, Victor was known as a titan. His business empire stretched across the city. His employees trembled at his footsteps. His boardroom voice could silence a room in seconds, and his bank accounts overflowed with wealth. But at home, Silence told another story. His teenage son muttered to his mother, "Dad doesn't really care about us, he only cares about his work." His daughter avoided family dinners because every conversation felt like an interrogation. His wife wore a polite smile in public, but at night, she wept quietly beside him. One evening, Victor returned from a major conference, expecting to be greeted by cheerful voices. Instead, the house was quiet. No children running into his arms, no laughter, just silence. He looked around at the empty living room and felt something cold settle in his chest. For the first time, the man who commanded hundreds realized he could lose the only 4 people who truly mattered. His empire was strong, but his home was crumbling. The lonely throne of a choleric leader, it shines in public, but it aches in private. Effects of the choleric temperament. In marriage, the choleric spouse brings direction and stability into the home, ensuring that things are well planned and secure. Yet, this same drive can suffocate love if it turns into control. While security is built, emotional distance often creeps in when tenderness is lacking. In personal life, cholerics often rise to positions of influence and success because of their boldness and determination. However, the same strength can lead to pride, leaving them isolated and struggling with loneliness behind closed doors. In parenting, choleric parents usually raise disciplined, focused children who learn the value of order and responsibility. But when tenderness is absent, their firmness can crush a child's confidence and silence their voice. The choleric's fire is powerful. It can forge gold that blesses many lives, or it can burn bridges that leave only ashes behind. Imagine a stormy evening. A choleric husband insists on a quick investment, millions of naira on the line. His cautious wife pleads for patience, reminding him of their children's school fees and the risks ahead. His voice grows sharp, hers grows quieter. Lightning flashes outside, thunder rumbles, but the real storm rages inside their living room. That night decides everything. Will his fire burn their family savings, or will humility save them? The suspense hangs heavy. Because this is the choleric's curse, they must choose whether their fire will warm or consume. Lessons to learn from the choleric temperament. The story of Nehemiah and Precious reminds us that marriage is not a fairy tale where love alone is enough to sustain a lifetime. Love is powerful, but it must be nurtured with understanding, patience, and a willingness to grow. Even the strongest qualities in a person, like Nehemiah's leadership and discipline, can become destructive if they are not balanced with tenderness and compassion. What was meant to build can easily destroy when it lacks gentleness. Change in marriage is rarely sudden or easy. It is a process that requires humility and consistency. Nehemiah did not transform in a day, a week, or even a month. His journey took years, filled with moments of failure and renewal. Yet, his willingness to keep trying made all the difference. Marriage thrives not because one partner is perfect, but because both are committed to growth, even when it is slow and difficult. Precious patience also teaches us something profound. She did not fight Nehemiah's fire with fire. She waited, endured, and continued to hope. Her quiet strength became the soil in which Nehemiah's transformation could take root. It reminds us that in relationships, patience can be just as powerful as action. Sometimes, the strongest thing we can do is to wait with love while change takes its course. Ultimately, the fire in marriage is not meant to consume but to warm. When both partners learn to balance freedom with discipline, passion with patience, and strength with tenderness, their love becomes not just something that survives, but something that flourishes. Nehemiah and Precious' story shows us that when couples are willing to grow together, even broken patterns can be reshaped into something beautiful. Before we go further, let me introduce you to 2 books that are written by Enny's Diamond Stories to strengthen your faith. Strength for the Journey of Life for Every Child of God, to inspire and empower you in every season. God Has Not Forgotten You, for singles and married, to reassure your heart of God's unfailing love. Both are available on Amazon, and you'll find the links under the description of the videos on this channel. The choleric temperament is like fire. Fire lights, warms, and forges steel, but fire also burns, consumes, and destroys. If you are choleric, your strength is a gift, but only when balanced with grace. If you are married to a choleric, remember that beneath the drive is a heart that also longs for love and understanding. When choleric fire is balanced with gentleness, marriages thrive, families flourish, and individuals achieve greatness without losing love. Thank you for joining Enny's Diamond Stories today. Did you see yourself in these stories? Did you see your spouse, your boss, your child? Temperament is not destiny. It is only direction. With wisdom and love, every temperament can become a gift, not a curse. And this is just the beginning. In our next episode, we'll step into the radiant world of the sanguine temperament, a world of laughter, joy, and light, but also hidden cracks of carelessness. Don't miss it. Subscribe, like, and share, and invite others to discover the diamonds hidden in everyday life. Till we come your way again, remember that true strength is not only in conquering challenges, but also in learning to lead with patience, compassion, and grace. See you in the next episode. Bye.